According to Fox 5 Atlanta News, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is getting sued. Yes, you heard that right, guys. State Representative Mesha Mainor is suing Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her office for, one, keeping inmates who have not been indicted in the Fulton County Jail for too long, and two, Willis not getting overly involved in Mainor's stalking case against an ex. According to Mainor, Willis never fought for her as a victim and Fulton County resident. She was always in the pocket of the Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington and even retaliated against Mainor after she contacted the Department of Justice Office of Violence Against Women. So Mainor said that during jail calls, Commissioner Arrington and her stalker plotted various actions, including manipulating judges, leveraging political influence, the same thing that people are accusing of Fani Willis doing in the Georgia election interference case. Mainor's stalker, Corwin Monson, was even released from prison in November 2021 and allegedly began stalking Mainor again. Now, if this turns out to be true, Mainor may be the latest victim of the gross negligence of DA Fani Willis's office, as the Fani seems to be hell-bent on going after former President Donald Trump at the expense of the county that she's supposed to be serving. Eric Trump, son of the former president and the vice president of the Trump Organization, insisted that progressive district attorneys, along with the Biden administration, are using lawfare against the former president to delegitimize his candidacy. So Willis is on it too, according to him. His exact words, obviously, Alvin Bragg is a Soros-paid DA, no different than Fani Willis. Eric Trump says that they want to torture his father, but no one is believing it. While speaking on the show, he discussed the alleged two-tiered system of justice perpetuated by his father's political rivals, as well as the crumbling state of America under not only the Biden administration, but on a city level under the influence of those like Alvin Bragg. So you see the local impact that these cases are making on the communities where these Trump cases are happening. It definitely gives you guys some perspective. But good news for Trump supporters. The Supreme Court decision on whether Donald Trump is immune from prosecution for actions that he took while president, they could be the difference maker, as it could sink or delay some of the criminal cases against him, including Georgia's. So even if the court rejects Donald Trump's broad immunity argument, its decision could further delay the criminal cases, which are already unlikely to go to trial until after the Trump versus Biden rematch in November. Now, if Trump wins the election, he could order the Justice Department to drop the two federal cases against him and pressure Georgia officials to do the same. So yeah, it really looks like things are definitely coming up for Donald Trump, and we've got some front row seats for the show. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna go ahead and dive right in. But first, details on Georgia Representative Mesha Mainor's lawsuit against Fani Willis. Check this out right here, guys.
Why, Aisha, this press conference, it just wrapped up. Representative Mesha Mainor, she is suing DA Fani Willis, Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington, as well as the Fulton County Board of Ethics. Now, the representative, she's claiming that she's a victim of a years-long criminal stalking case. She's alleging that DA Fani Willis failed to prosecute properly her alleged stalker. Now, she's claiming the stalker was a former campaign volunteer. Now, she says that the DA allowed this former stalker, this alleged stalker, to be released on bond for non-bondable crimes and didn't contact witnesses that she provided. She wanted the DA to properly investigate this case, and she says that the DA failed to do so.
All I'm hearing about this from people is that it's good. It's good that they're finally suing Fani Willis and the other officials in Fulton County. Residents say that it's because Fani Willis just keeps wasting all the DA time and money on the bogus Trump trial. Now, according to State Representative Mesha Mainor, it's been over 6 years and she's been silent about it. During that 6 years of silence, she tried to resolve these issues behind the scenes and get justice for herself. But since that has not worked, she stood inside the Georgia State Capitol and announced her lawsuit against Willis, Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington, and the Fulton County Ethics Board. Two issues with the Fulton County DA. So first, she's been keeping inmates who have not been indicted in the Fulton County Jail for too long. Mainor said that the Georgia Assembly set clear guidelines for DA Fani Willis, requiring her to indict individuals in custody within 90 days. Those arrested without bond must have their case presented to the grand jury within the same time frame. Mainor also said that she has an issue with Fani Willis getting involved in Mainor's stalking case against an ex. When Arrington represented Mainor's alleged stalker in a criminal case, Mainor said Arrington and Willis had inappropriate conversations about it. When asked how she thinks that this will affect former President Donald Trump's case here in Georgia, Mainor said Trump's case doesn't matter to her. Now, Mainor's own story is pretty interesting as it shows the same kind of journey many Trump supporters have been through. Mainor, who in 2020 was elected by a large margin of constituents by House District 56 in the Democratic stronghold of Atlanta, made headlines last July when she switched parties and officially became a Republican, saying at the time that she was no longer morally comfortable in complying with Democrats' left-wing radicalism, lawlessness, and putting the interests of illegal aliens over the interests of Americans. Mainor's lawsuit filed April 2nd in Fulton County Superior Court states that in January 2019, she hired a man named Corwin Monson as a campaign volunteer. He assured Mainor that he could help her get elected, though 1 month later she was forced to terminate him after she witnessed his unruly, belligerent behavior. It allegedly led to repeated displays of stalking in a variety of forms, including Monson showing up uninvited to campaign or church events, sitting outside of her home, calling her from different phone numbers and leaving voicemails, and even coming to her home to propose to her in front of her minor children. According to the lawsuit, Monson was in love with Mainor, despite a romantic relationship never having taken place. The suit also alleges that Arrington, who defended Monson in a legal capacity, used his influence to circumvent the office policies of the district attorney's office, such as by copying the district attorney on emails, directly negotiating plea deals, and demanding meetings. It even mentioned how Arrington told Willis that B is crazy. You see, after Willis was sworn in January 2021, she became responsible for the Monson case. She reportedly dismissed one of his aggravated stalking cases. On the other charge, she offered a plea of 3 years with 1 year served in prison and the rest probation. Mainor said that she was never informed of the plea deal and claimed a violation of the Georgia Crime Victims Bill of Rights. The lawsuit said that Mainor had been forced to advocate for herself and her safety, although that is the district attorney's role. And now the state representative is seeking compensatory and consequential damages, including damages for emotional distress, humiliation, loss of enjoyment of life, and other pain and suffering. I mean, all sorts of things are coming up about Fani Willis now, huh? Like my uncle said, if you're gonna go after a guy as popular and resourceful as Donald Trump, make sure your hands are clean, because it definitely feels like Fani's walls are crumbling right about now. I mean, just talking about Fani Willis's walls makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So we're just gonna take a quick pause here, just for a second. If you're finding this deep dive into Fani Willis's case and its implications intriguing, don't forget to hit the like button here. It totally helps out the channel and it ensures that you will not miss out on any future updates on this unfolding story. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you're alerted whenever we drop new content, which is like pretty much all the time. Your support means the world to us. All right, so now this manipulation of the legal system is exactly what Donald Trump is saying that he is facing. As his son and vice president of the Trump organization, Eric Trump, said, they want to torture his father, but no one is believing it. In the same interview, discussed what he called the two-tier system of justice perpetuated by his father's political rivals, as well as the crumbling state of America under not only the Biden administration, but on a city level under the influence of those like Alvin Bragg. He mentioned how New York is falling. You have homelessness through the roof. You have women being pushed in front of trains. You have cops that are being assassinated in their squad cars. You have little kids that are being shot in Times Square, and they're going after a guy for a $130,000 payment. Every day they close the streets around the court. It costs 20 times that. Every time they shut down the FDR Drive, it costs 50 times that. Now, he makes a very good point here. He compared Biden's popularity with his father's. He said that with all the power of Air Force One and with all the power of the executive branch, Biden can't have anyone show up. With his father's drawing these massive crowds, his fundraising is the likes of which no one has ever seen before the presidency. Bottom line, Eric Trump says people want America back. People want to be prideful in this country again. People want a cheerleader for this nation. Now, as for Fani Willis, people are calling her all sorts of things, like nasty crook for one. They say that the Fulton County DA should be prosecuted for money laundering, perjury, misuse of state resources, and anything else lawmakers can come up with. They're already prepping for when she loses her position. Some people want to file a lawsuit against her so she has to use her own money, like what they're asking of former President Donald Trump to do. But hey, watch out guys, because the Supreme Court decision is due any day now, and their decision could sink or delay some of the criminal cases against him, including Georgia's. Even if the court doesn't go through with Donald Trump's claim of broad immunity, its ruling could still slow down the criminal cases against him, which probably won't reach trial before the upcoming Trump versus Biden election rematch this November. Now, that's something to look forward to, right guys? Because should should Trump secure a victory and a return to the White House, he could potentially instruct the Justice Department to dismiss the 2 federal cases against him and could also lean on officials in Georgia to follow suit. By then, probably the ongoing hush money trial in New York City, that would stay on track, mainly because the accusations stem from a time before Donald Trump was president. Now that pretty much wraps up the exploration of the intertwining legal dramas involving Fani Willis and the broader implications on the political landscape. Now, as you guys can see, it's pretty clear that these cases, they're not just about the individuals involved. They ripple across our communities and even our nation. Now, before I go, I want to hear from you guys. Drop me a quick comment down below. Let me know what you think about this ongoing saga. Do you see a pattern of political bias against former President Donald Trump? Drop a quick yes or no in the comment section down below. And hey, like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you enjoyed today's deep dive. We're always here to bring you guys the most critical updates and insider perspectives. So stick with us here for more insights that you won't find anywhere else. Thanks for sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll see you on the next one.